This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Dodgers hoping tonight's the night Shohei Ohtani finally gets going at the plate in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series against the Brewers. This postseason, the two-way megastar's hitting a .138, 2 home runs, 5 RBI, and a .638 OPS. Part of his struggles due to how opposing pitchers are pitching to Ohtani, explains ESPN MLB analyst Jessica Mendoza.
Every team has tried to get him with fastballs inside, and because of that, because he's swinging at them. It's one thing to get those pitches and take them, but because he's swinging at them, it's creating bad habits. So when he finally gets a cookie, he gets a pitch a little bit more over the middle. That front side is already now flying, and it makes him fly out weak to the left side of the field.
Game 2, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. LA up 1-0 starts Yoshi Yamamoto against Milwaukee's Freddie Peralta. NBA Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo told Ant One's The Tonight Show he'd like to end his career playing for a Greek basketball team after his retirement from the NBA. 30-year-old said he can play in the NBA until he's 36 to 38 years old and then end his career with a Greek team. He's set to begin year 13 with Milwaukee next week.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday with Baker Mayfield having success in his fourth stop. I'll tell you which other QBs need a change of scenery if they actually want to succeed. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine. Your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Jack O'Neill, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. Brandon Taylor next hour. LSU great Todd McClure in hour 3. We got a ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, the thing we all wanted to see was LSU run the football. Let me correct that. The thing I desperately wanted to see was LSU run the football against South Carolina. They did that by and large, and it was a day where you did it without your starter at left guard, no Paul Mabenga for the game, and a day where you really committed to doing it. Tigers threw the ball 33 times. They ran it 30 times, so that in and of itself showed a different level of commitment to the running game that you certainly didn't see in your loss on the road at Ole Miss 2 weeks prior. And when Brian Kelly was meeting with reporters on Monday, he talked about the difference that he saw in his offensive line against South Carolina they had previously in the season.
Other things that really stood out after you watch film is that we ran off the ball for the first time with the offensive line. We got off the ball. Now we got to sustain. And sustainability is will and want to, and we got to get more of that. I thought we did a great job in protecting our quarterback. No sacks against one of the elite pass rushers in Stewart in the league. He is an outstanding athlete, and I was proud of our guys in keeping our quarterback clean.
Stewart, of course, is Dylan Stewart from South Carolina. I'm getting to a point here as well because there remains one sort of glaring issue on this offensive line, but Brian Kelly later elaborated that how this offensive line progressed from the beginning of the season now through the bye week, and in particular, one part of the offensive line. Give a listen.
We're at the point now where we can talk about sustaining blocks which is simply a determination and a want-to and a will. And we got to get to that, because if we sustain 1 or 2 blocks, well, we had 6 runs of 15 yards or more. That's a really good start. We could have had 3 or 4 that were of 50 or more. And we just need to sustain. I couldn't get to sustaining blocks if I couldn't get off the ball. Now we're getting off the ball. Now we got to sustain blocks. We got to hold on to those blocks. It can't just be contact and that's it, because those guys are folding back in and making plays. So we're at a next stage if we continue to do what we're doing, which puts us in a really good place.
One of the things that I've mentioned a lot throughout this offseason, and this isn't something that's unique to me, it makes a lot of sense, is with an offensive line, you have 5 that need to play as one. And when you have a lot of first-time players out there and everyone playing together for the first time, that is going to take time to gel together. So that's sort of what you heard Brian Kelly saying there. It was teaching them first, firing off the ball. Now it's sustaining blocks. It's all a progress in how they're evolving and developing. And Brian Kelly on Monday in his press conference said it was the best center guard play that they've had all year. Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, Coe, and Eccles. He said that triangle, the best center guard play they've had the entire season. And the PFF grades actually bear that out. So when you look at pass blocking specifically, Braylon Moore was your highest graded pass blocker in this game with an 80.8. We're just looking at the offensive linemen. Josh Thompson was next with a 62. And then you saw Tyree Adams lower at a 57, Weston Davis at a 29, and Coe Eccles was way down there at a 24. But the center guard with Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson, that does bear out. Now, when you talk about run blocking, your highest graded run blocker was, and again, this is what we're talking about, right? Not the pass blocking. We're talking about run blocking. So this is really what Kelly was alluding to there, is you're trying to get better in the running game. Josh Thompson, your highest graded run blocker at a 72.5. Coe Eccles next at 62.4. Braylon Moore next, 62.3. I always say with PFF, sometimes it can validate or invalidate, confirm or disconfirm what the eye test show you. Well, Brian Kelly sitting there saying it was the best center guard play we had all year. That obviously bears it out. The problem that you're having right now is that Tyree Adams has been good for you at left tackle. He's certainly been serviceable. He hasn't been outstanding this season. He hasn't played at an all-conference level. His overall PFF grade is a 60. Pass blocking grade is 64. His run blocking grade a 54. So not great, but serviceable. The problem that I think everyone can acknowledge is Weston Davis is really struggling at right tackle. And I'm not the person that ever wants to come on air and just bury a college athlete. I try my very best to not do that. And I think Weston Davis is a guy at 6'7", 320 with incredible upside. He's a former 5-star, and he's a fantastic athlete and has tremendous upside and ability. But look at what happened against Louisiana Tech. They pulled him to start the second half. Brian Kelly says much like he just needed to sit and just watch for a little while. He was swimming. And you look at this game, his pass blocking grade was a 29.2. His run blocking grade was a 51.4. His overall season grade is a 39. It's just very obvious. Like a season ago, DJ Chester at center was your weak link. God bless the kid. I mean, he was playing out of position, and he was playing the position where you got to touch the ball every play, make every call. It was very difficult. Right now, Weston Davis is feeling a little bit of that. As a redshirt freshman playing for the first time, and he's swimming. Now, you might remember this because we talked about it a lot in the spring. Josh Thompson, who transferred in from Northwestern, was a 2-year starter at Northwestern. Last season in 2024 for the Wildcats, he played 646 snaps, all of them at right guard. So in 2024, Josh Thompson was the starting right guard at Northwestern. But 2 years ago in 2023, he played 761 snaps at right tackle. He was Northwestern's starting right tackle 2 years ago. So now you have a guy that is veteran, multi-year starter, is performing very well for you, solid for you right now through the first 6 games, who has experience as a starting right tackle. And that is very clearly your weakest position right now. So wouldn't it stand to reason you could give Thompson a look at right tackle and then maybe play Chester or Kern at right guard. You solidify where you are weakest right now and get another athletic, big physical player at guard. So I asked Brian Kelly that on Monday. Here's what he said.
We did, but we're willing to live with some mistakes out at right tackle because we think his future is so bright. So when you go into that whole process of thinking about it, do you thwart his growth of what he needs to see every day? He was really good against six and pass protection. Really good. That guy is outstanding. He's as good as I've seen. We've got to get him better in the run game. And that's where at times you want to put Josh out there. But we're going to live with him. And I'm proud of him. He's growing. He's learning this game. And that's a big part of this. O-line awareness, O-line instincts. Some have it, some don't. Some you got to really give them reps. And that's what this is about. He needs to play.
There's two ways to look at that conversation. Weston Davis has tremendous upside. That's undeniable. And some guys struggle when they're young and they get better with more reps. And Davis could very well be that guy. I think he will be that guy. But are you compromising your short-term ability to have success this season by being vulnerable there when you have an option? If you didn't have another option, that'd be one thing. But you have an option that you're not willing to exercise. And I wonder if you don't get to a point this year where you have to make that move. Now, the other part of it, too, is Josh Thompson has to be willing to make that move. And there is something to be said for in a new era, an NIL era, where guys probably commit or come under certain pretenses. Josh Thompson was in the Big Ten, comes into the SEC, and is putting out good tape so far through 6 weeks. Is he willing to switch positions in his draft year? Maybe not. And I would love to think all-in team guy, whatever we got to do to win. And I don't know. I don't know Josh Thompson. Aside from the few times he's met with the media, I don't know him a lick. So I can't tell you what he will be willing to do or not. But I think that's also something you got to consider. Is he willing to move to right tackle if you wanted him to? So, and you heard Brian Kelly saying that bite. Because the way I asked the question was, have you considered moving him to right tackle? And he says, yeah, he acknowledges, yes, they talked about it. Well, wouldn't you talk about it with Josh Thompson as well? Wouldn't that stand to reason? So I don't know where that stands, but that is something to watch. And the hope is in the second half of the season, you continue to see Weston Davis exponentially improve. And if he does, great. Now you're solidified at that spot for the next couple of years with a really athletic, talented guy. But in the meantime, that remains a weakness. And every team has a best pass rusher. Every team has one. They may not all be Dylan Stewart, but everybody's got one. And it's going to be on Weston Davis a lot of Saturdays to try to hold him off. See how that continues to develop. All right, it's after further review. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Both the Tigers and the Saints are on the road this week, so maybe you're going to be watching the game at your house. Make sure your cooler, your refrigerator is stocked with plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light for that 11 a.m. kickoff in Nashville or that noon kickoff up in Chicago. Bud Light, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the Tigers and the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. All right, Shea Dixon's going to join us when we come back. As always, we normally have Sean Salisbury on Tuesdays. However, Sean's daughter is in labor, so Sean's going to be a grandfather, which is awesome. We're thrilled for him. But so Sean's not going to be here in hour 3. So Todd McClure will jump aboard with us, and we'll talk some offense. I'll bounce some of this off of Todd McClure in hour 3 when he's here. Stay with us. It's AFR.
After further review.
Woke up this morning to temps in the 50s. I know a lot of y'all are starting to get a little bit of an itchy finger there to go crank on that heater. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't turn on your home central heater until you've called River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. River City's 1 Hour Air will come by for the preseason heater safety check. They'll come by to make sure your heater is safe and efficient for the coming cold weather season. Look, your heater is dormant for months. It can collect dust. It can be hazardous. Don't crank on your heater until you've had River City's 1 Hour Air, come take a look for the preseason heater safety check. Mention the Moscona special. Just mention the show. They'll knock $30 off the price. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts
after further review. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling along on a Tuesday, we are powered by Sunshine. Man, I keep passing by the new every day on my way home. I pass by the newest Sunshine location going up there on Pico and Baton Rouge. Can't wait for that thing to open. Y'all get on by and see our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us as he does here on Tuesday. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Just before you came on, we were talking a little bit about that the whole right tackle situation with Weston Davis. And, Shea, I look at it from a recruiting standpoint, and I can't help but think of someone like from Neville, the big 5-star who went up to Tennessee. I'm blanking on his name.
Will Campbell.
No.
No, wait. Who are you talking about?
After Campbell.
Lance Hurd.
Hurd, thank you. I can't help but think about Lance Hurd. But, if he stays, then you've got a 5-star, 3, guy who's been here for 3 years and is plug-and-play ready-made at one of the tackle spots, but it's sort of like what you deal with right now. What's your thoughts on kind of how this whole thing has come together?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, my reaction was one of the reactions you had, and I thought you had a good question adding the Thompson stuff in there with Brian Kelly yesterday, because then we got a sort of very specific answer to how they move forward here. But I don't know. I texted you that I have a reaction to this because maybe I just want to hear your reaction, and I know you have a big pulse on things. Are we, even in the era of the portal, yes, but everyone's playing this well. This is the year card, right? Like we're all in. LSU's all in. And I get it, right? And you address the O-line. You've added 2 portal guys. They both start. And are we just under a presumption that a kid who everyone was so excited about, one of the top offensive tackles in America, who's a 5-star on Rivals, and at the time on 3, but he's a starter and above the rim basketball player on a Beaumont United top 25 national team. This is above Emory Jones, balling out at Catholic High type stuff. So much like a Trey Green, a guy like that isn't going to be good in his first 6 games, right, Matt? Am I underreacting to this?
No, I
when
think
do you get excitement for a 5-star prospect and not just kicking it down the road as a fan and saying, well, there's got to be a more immediate fix?
Well, I think a lot of that is expectation, Shea. Whenever you're talking about a team that fancies itself as a national title contender, you start to look at what are the things that could potentially prevent you from getting there. Well, we would all agree the weakest unit on this team right now is the offensive line. And the weakest part of your weakest unit right now is Weston Davis at right tackle. I think that's objectively true. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn or saying anything that's untrue. But 2 things can be true at the same time, right? We can acknowledge this is a guy with an extremely high ceiling that I think is going to be an outstanding football player, but right now he's a bit of a liability. And if you didn't have an option like Thompson, who's been a power 4 starter at right tackle, then this is not a conversation. But I think it has to be a conversation because you do have a guy that's been a full season starter in the power 4 at right tackle. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of crux of this whole thing is, like I said, I'm glad you got specific with Kelly, because if it weren't a discussion about Thompson, what discussion are we having? It would be like any other position, right? Where you just say the coaches see all of them in practice. I'm guessing there's not anyone better that they have to turn to. So I don't know. I just see everyone freaking out. I'm like, man, I can remember when this kid committed and how excited y'all were. Yeah. And now the fans are kind of not so bullish on the idea of him trying to, I guess, get through his first season as a starter while balancing the reality, yes, that you're 5-1 and fancy yourself as a playoff team.
That's the difference, right? If you're a team that is trying to get better and build for the future, that's a very different reality than the immediacy of what's happening with this LSU team, because we can all acknowledge, Shea, they've got to get better. Similarly, you have to acknowledge they're 5-1 and ranked 10th in the country. Every goal they have is right there to be achieved. So, how do you continue to improve? So, hopefully it continues to get better and better and better as the season goes along. And the thing I'll say, Shea, last point, if you have a thought on it, please weigh in. But it feels to me what I hope is similar to what happened a year ago with Paul Mabenga, where he was thrust in there in a really tough spot when Dellinger got hurt. I mean, on the road at A&M, and then has to start against Bama and Florida, and it was not good early. But if you go look at Mabenga, every game he started last year, every game, he PFF grades or whatever, he improved every single week. And then starting this season, he's been really good for you at left guard. Now, he didn't play last week, obviously, after he got hurt. But, yes, guys are allowed to improve, and that's really, I think, my hope here with Davis is the more reps he get, the more he improves.
Yeah, and I think, too, people – get less mad when it's the second guy up if a guy is struggling on the road or early. But I think it maybe does go back to the old point of debate. Maybe here it's settled back to this reality that LSU is better. There were more expectations on this season than a year ago, so you weren't as upset if a guy was taking his lumps on your line that you thought might be a full-time starter for you. And also, like you said, yeah, I think people are just browsing or kind of glossing over the, oh, well, it was a really tough matchup, with South Carolina, and, he did his best. It's like, well, not everyone has a great DN, and then there's the best DN, that's Dylan Stewart. But every week you're getting that. So I guess playing right tackle, Matt, that and left tackle. Everybody's watching you when you mess up more than any other position.
Shea, let's talk a little bit from the recruiting perspective. The game in Baton Rouge this past weekend with South Carolina coming in, how did it go for the recruits that showed up, and what ended up being the notable visitor list?
It went well. I mean, look, this is anytime you can get a win and be 5-1. I always say that recruits don't view things through the same lens as fans or even we do. often I'll joke and I'm serious with it. And this might be the same for fans, but at the end of the season, they couldn't tell you what their record had been or how many losses they had or who the name every loss. Like it's one of those things where it's just, hey, look, how do I fit in and kind of take it from there. And boy, I think LSU still has the number 2 blue chip ratio right now, 16 commits. But we've talked about that a lot. Like we're not in the old days anymore of 25 to 30 high school signees. There's no cap that people worry about anymore with the portal and obviously retaining a roster. I think they're going to be around 20 every cycle. And the big goal, I think, was just getting these guys back to campus. So getting them back, I think every Louisiana commit was there and a handful of out-of-state commits were back, Matt. And from Lamar Brown over at U High to out-of-state guys who have made kind of multiple visits, the feeling is always, hey, Tiger Stadium's impressed. Hey, playing offense or defense. Certainly, though, I think people are more kind of surprised with the offensive reaction of how often these are. Look, I can count out reading right now. Steve Wiltfong had just written a couple of articles on guys who were in national players for 2027 next year, where the whole storyline is I'm loving how the offense looks. They're clicking at the right time. So I guess as we talk about overreactions at the midway point of the season, don't overreact to them having 16 commits. That's sort of the new era of things. And 2, don't overreact too much on Saturdays because the future guys who are on this team out of high school don't weigh it as heavily as you do.
Shea, what can you tell us about Joshua Thompson, who had 5-star, the number 1 cornerback on visit this past weekend?
Yeah, kid who's coming out of Fort Mill over in South Carolina. So he's seeing his home state team take on LSU and got to see LSU win. And I mean, he talked about it being one of the notable visits he's had in his recruitment. He's only a junior, but when you're the number 1 corner and already a 5-star, you've made a number of visits. So that was one thing that sort of stood out. And then he's had a relationship with Corey Raymond for a while. And I talk about it often, that when you get to this point in a recruiting process, Matt, and you've only got a couple of months left till signing day or the majority of your class is built, that focus shifts to the next cycle. And look, they've got 1 commit, Peyton Houston, but they're going to start stacking them up. And I often say, look, you'll look back at weekends like this where you can look up now and DJ Pickett is your, cornerback and guy for the future. Well, these are those weekends where a guy like Joshua Thompson just kind of slips under the radar and people are like, don't realize, hey, this could be your 5-star future guy. And this was his first visit and was really a tone setter. So I think for him to be able to see LSU beat his home state team and obviously the defense look like they have all season was pretty big for him. So couple that with a relationship with Corey Raymond, he doesn't target many people per cycle, notably out of state. So Dobson will be a guy to keep an eye on, definitely.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to hang out with us. Shea, we are going to get a commitment announcement coming up in a couple of days here on Thursday from an in-state prospect. What can you tell us about, is it Vital or Vital? How does he say it?
Boy, I was hoping you were going to go with an answer for me on both of them. Actually, is it Vital or Vital or Javen or Javon? I'm going to go Javen Vital. I'll think Vital. Maybe I'll go Vital.
Let's go Javen Vital. I'm with it.
I'm with it. He'll announce this week. They've already offered. These kids are juniors in high school. LSU's already offered 10 plus kids out of Louisiana next year, and I think it's the same number that we have in the On 300 or the Rivals 300 right now. But he's one of the top 10 players in the state. Coming out of Hamilton Christian Academy over in Lake Charles. And I'm not too familiar with how long they've been open, but if he were to pick LSU, and I've got my pick in on him to pick LSU, but Southern Cal, UCLA, there's other teams in the mix here. If he does pick LSU, Matt, he would become the first player to ever go from Hamilton Christian to signing or committing to LSU football. So I don't care if they open this year, which they didn't. I know he played there last year, but that's a pretty cool thing to take with you if you wind up playing for the home state team.
He's a wide receiver?
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, he's playing 1A ball over at Hamilton Christian, and he's everything that they have. I think quarterback-wise, return specialist, DB, he's kind of that guy for him. But yes, viewed as a kind of a smaller slot wide receiver at the next level.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Tigers hit the road this week, Shea, for game against Vanderbilt. What do we look for here in the immediate short term with Vanderbilt, and then obviously A&M coming in a week from Saturday?
Yeah, I think that the goal this weekend on the recruit front is get out of there, right, with a win. You don't want to be coming back here and having to kind of not only have all the pressure on you, but go up there and lose to Vandy. So I kind of think everything is sort of geared up. Gosh, Florida and South Carolina have obviously been their biggest home games. Those were big recruiting weekends, and there's not many left. And certainly this A&M one stands out. So I'm going to guess the next 2 weeks, which both have, aren't coming before a bye or anything like that. So they're not going to be on the road recruiting, that they are geared up on loading up that visitor list for A&M, because that'll be that big weekend you have before that final month of the season. And then the early signing period gets here in a hurry, obviously. So they'll try to get all your commits back, see if they don't get a few more kind of out of state or targets, I should say, flip targets even, who are seniors, because I don't think they can end at 16 commits. I think it'll get closer to 20. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hey, maybe Catholic High's Blaine Bradford will be there. In fact, I would almost guarantee he's there, unless he's headed up to Ohio State where he's committed, Matt.
I think we might see Blaine Bradford. I don't know if he'll wear purple and gold, but I think we'll probably see him at that LSU A&M game. Be fun. He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Of course, rivals now as well on the recruiting side. Check him out at Shea Dixon. Thanks, Shea. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, Matt.
All right, bud. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Lee Michaels helping Louisianians get engaged now for 4 decades. When you go to Lee Michaels, we talk so much about the Lee Michaels experience, where when you walk in, they offer you a beverage and chocolates on a tray. Because they have the buying power of 10 stores, they can get what you want. They if they can't get it, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. They offer custom pieces, and at Lee Michaels, they offer returns. If she's not thrilled, they want her to love it. They want you to have a great experience, her to love it, you to be the hero. And if that's not the case, then they'll take a return. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Remember, maybe you have an anniversary coming up. A lot of folks will trade their diamond in for maybe an upgrade. Just be real, man. A lot of us, when we get married, maybe not doing as well professionally as you do when you get on in your career a little bit. So great opportunity maybe for that upgrade at this point. So check them out at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We're not going to quick break, go around the SEC when we come back. Also, one thing that a couple outlets are doing every week throughout the season is they're using the old BCS formula to tell you what the playoff race would look like now, like if the BCS formula was still in existence. So I'll run through what that looks like right now. We'll do it when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. I want to remind you, so Goodwood is on Drusilla in Baton Rouge. And there's actually, it's part of 3 different entities all in that one complex. There's Goodwood, the men's clinic. There's Unique Physique, which does the GLP-1s, right? Semaglutide, tirzepatide, the weight loss shots. And then there's Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, which is the aesthetics clinic. So the laser hair removal, the laser therapy, the skin therapy, body contouring, Botox. They do it all. By the way, Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, $8 a unit Botox. So, gents, if you use Botox, great. If it's your wife, girlfriend, fiance, whomever, let her know. $8 a unit Botox at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. It's the lowest price you'll find anywhere. So, if you want to look and feel your best, they've got it for you right there on Drusilla with Goodwood, Unique Physique, and Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. But, of course, you can always start by going to yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to South.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun. Over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket full of chicken and a big cold jug of sweet tea. I make a little room and she climbs
The BCS has been dead since after the 2013 season, but there's a Twitter X account called BCS Know-How. And so they use the BCS formula from then to compile all the numbers of with all the current college football season to spit it out, tell you what the BCS rankings would look like right now. If you're interested, Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Miami 3, Texas A&M 4. So by the way, this, if you're playing out the playoff, those would be the top 4 that would all have buys, right? If you're looking at it right now, Ohio State, Indiana, Miami, Texas A&M. That'd be your top 4 with buys. Number 5, Ole Miss would play number 12, Memphis. Number 6, Alabama would play number 11, Georgia Tech. Number 7, Texas Tech would play number 10, LSU. Number 8, Georgia would play number 9, Oregon. And if you're wondering about how the full BCS top 25 would look following week 7, this is how it would look right now. Just went through the top 12 there, but actually the team that would be outside looking in is Tennessee at 12. And Tennessee would have got bumped in favor of Memphis as the lowest rated G5, or the highest rated G5, I guess, that would get in. Memphis in the BCS rankings would be ranked 21st. Memphis would be ranked 21st, but would get in as the highest ranked conference G5 conference champ. So for whatever that's worth. I always think this is it also, I guess, of note, Notre Dame presently would be on the outside looking in. Now, this is all going to change. There's going to be more upsets and whatnot. But I know a lot of people loved to hate the BCS at the time. My contention always was twofold. Number one, the BCS was very good to the SEC, and in particular LSU. You won 2 national championships in the BCS era, and that was when the SEC established its dominance because the formula loved the SEC. The formula recognized the SEC's strength of schedule. The other thing is that the BCS typically got it right. It's a shame that only two people or two teams were allowed in the field. But I will continue to say I would rather get to a point where we have a 12 or 16 team college football playoff where the teams are selected by a formula like the BCS instead of the group of self-important dopes in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas debating things like game control and defensive efficiency metrics with all of their bias laid in to all of those decisions. Where you got Honey Boo Boo and Ward Cleaver out there throwing out their what are the reasons we decided this week to do what we decided to do press conference with zero accountability. I don't know anyone that needs that in our lives. At least at the start of every season, you would have a jumping off point where everybody would know these are the rules, this is the metric, this is how it's decided. I don't know that we'll ever get back there. I don't know that there's tremendous support for that, but the less we can involve humans and their bias in selecting this field and come up with a metric that is agreed upon before the season that everyone understands this is how we're going to choose the 12 or 16 teams, whatever it is. I don't understand the argument against that. That would be better for everyone involved. And as of right now, LSU would be in. I feel like it's the thing I got to keep reminding LSU fans. Like, I get the disappointment of losing to Ole Miss, the struggles running the football, and Nuss, is he hurt? Is he not? Is he whatever? But at the halfway point of the season, you're 5-1, and everything that you want to play for is right in front of you. Just keep getting better and go win games. All right, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, go to parishrestoration.com. That's parishrestoration.com. Jim Woodworth and the gang, they do awesome work. By the way, not just in Baton Rouge. They go all over the state, actually all over the region. They do a ton of work in New Orleans as well. Makes sense, right? I mean, in Louisiana, especially the southern part of Louisiana, it's wet and it's humid. It's a breeding ground for mold. Have mold, think you might? Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com, but not just mold. Maybe someone's sick in your office and it's going around the office, the school, the church, whatever it may be. You want to sanitize that building, medical complex. You want to sanitize your medical facility, have them come in, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They'll knock it out all the way down to the spores. Also, want to get rid of odor, sweat, smoke, pet odor. Then come in, they'll spray. It'll knock all that out. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, it's after further review. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Oklahoma Sooners.
John McClure played all 4 quarters against Texas. Came out seemingly pretty healthy. He spoke to reporters Monday night, said he's, quote, full go, played the game. If there's anything hurting, I'll chill out. But McClure said he'll monitor himself if it flares up, but just less than 3 weeks after surgery on that hand, played against Texas, says he's still good to go.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Josh Heupel gave a status update on running back Deshaun Bishop ahead of Tennessee's game against number 6 Alabama this week. Heupel said he expects Bishop to be ready to go. Ran for a career-high 146 and a score before suffering a right leg injury Saturday against Arkansas. Heupel said postgame that he didn't think this would be long-term. So Bishop, redshirt sophomore, started all 6 games for the Vols so far at running back.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
On the other end of the third Saturday in October, Alabama wide receiver Bubba Hampton is going to enter the transfer portal. Pete Nakos had it first. Kalen DeBoer confirmed about a month ago that Hampton was leaving the team or left the team during fall camp. Now they know it's a mutually agreed upon decision, and Hampton is entering the portal.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn's flipped Shadarius Tootle back from Georgia. He's a 4-star linebacker, committed to Auburn in July of 2024, and then this June he flipped to Georgia. Well, now he's flipped back to Auburn after Auburn lost to Georgia. 6'3", 210, the number 250 overall player in the country, the 14th best linebacker. He's from the state of Alabama, the 13th commitment for Auburn's 2026 class.
The Missouri Tigers.
And cornerback Brody Jones has flipped his commitment from Cincinnati to Missouri. He's out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. 3-star prospect, committed to Cincinnati since June. 6'3", 175. He's the 114th best safety in the country and the 14th best player out of Arkansas, but he's headed to Mizzou. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Visit sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Y'all thank a farmer for all the work they do to keep our state's economy churning, and also because, they're how we eat. So God bless the farmers. Thank a farmer. Hug a farmer. And, of course, if you're a farmer and you need your farm equipment, you already know about Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, but so much more. Zero-turn mowers, gators, hunting season, great time for that. And it's tailgate season. You need generators or fans or all the stuff for your tailgate. They got that at Sunshine as well. Sunequip.com to find the location nearest you. Sunequip.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We're going to wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. Bill Belichick sounding off on the rumors that he's trying to plan his exit strategy from Chapel Hill. We'll let you hear from the coach in just a bit. Brandon Taylor in 30 minutes. Todd McClure in hour 3. Mel Kiper's got a new big board, his first big board out. We got a ton to do, and glad you're with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Let's Rev, y'all. Fired up to have Rev as a part of the show. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com, R-E-V, Let'sRev.com. I encourage you to do what I did. Switch to Rev. It's Louisiana's largest privately owned and operated internet service provider. They're known for their 5-star customer service, their reliability, and most importantly, Rev is powered by an all-fiber network backed by local support teams right here in South Louisiana. Literally this week, there were crews in my front yard digging up my front yard to lay fiber. They're laying fiber in my neighborhood right now, and I could not be more excited. So what that means for you is, okay, power goes out, trees down, whatever the case, you're not going to lose internet because the internet, the fiber is underground. You got to switch to Rev, y'all. Go to Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. And we're talking Baton Rouge, Gonzales, Prairieville, Plaquemine, Denham, Springfield, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Covington, Mandeville, LaPlace, Reserve, Thibodaux, Houma, LaRose, Grand Isle, everywhere. Let'sRev.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgout, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Wrapping up hour number one. At the end of last week, a lot of hullabaloo about Bill Belichick at North Carolina, that he was sort of strategizing his exit, looking for the escape hatch there in Chapel Hill. Well, Bill Belichick, meeting with reporters this week, he says, nope, that's not true at all.
Am I looking for a buyout and trying to leave here and all that? It's categorically false. There's zero truth to any of that. Glad I'm here. We're working towards our goals and the process. Had great support from Chancellor Roberts, Bubba, Steve, and so forth. Mike Lombardi. It's been those people have all been great, and I appreciate all their help and everything. And we just believe very much in the process. Kind of like Bill Walsh said, the score will take care of itself. And I've always believed that you just got to keep working and grinding away, and that's exactly what we're doing.
There are winnable games ahead for North Carolina. They've gotten blasted by some pretty good teams. They got blasted by TCU. They got blasted by Clemson. I don't know how good of a team Central Florida is, and losing 34-9 down in the bounce house. That's a little concerning. Do they still call that the bounce house? Do you know, Muse?
Yes, they do. They still call it the bounce house.
Still call it the bounce house. That's not Mr. Worldwide's place. That's a whole nother place altogether.
Yes.
Is that FAU or FIU?
I'll look it up because I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, North Carolina had an open date this past week. Then they
FIU.
Yeah.
Pitbull Stadium.
Pitbull. That's him, Mr. Worldwide. You surprised I knew that?
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blee, blah. Don't start the party.
See, there you go.
How cool am I?
Not very, but
I
mean, I'm not surprised you knew
There
that.
was a time in my life when it was. Maybe a little bit. Little smidge cooler than I am now. What about FAU? Remember when Lane Kiffin had the come to the FAU?
Come to the FAU.
And he did the little hand signal for the owl.
Boca.
What was the owl?
Sure.
Little owl signal?
Well, I mean, who?
Whatever it was.
Who?
Oh,
That's an owl.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. You got it?
What's the you want to know what their stadium is?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, I thought we were just talking about Lane.
No, I want to know the name of the stadium. The Owl House.
It's FAU Stadium.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Got it.
It's in Boca.
A lot of old people in Boca.
Mm-hmm.
Snowbirds is what they call them, Muse.
Yeah.
From the Northeast, when it gets cold, they go down to Boca.
It's a good idea, honestly.
I know. So anyway, North Carolina, they're 2-3. They're going to play at Cal. It's a weird conference game.
Traditional.
North Carolina at Cal in a conference game. Then they play Virginia at home, and Virginia's ranked 18th right now. But then you go at Syracuse. You get Stanford at home, at Wake, Duke, and at NC State. So, I mean, there's winnable games. You got one ranked opponent left. It's a home game against Virginia. I wouldn't be stunned if they found their way to bowl eligibility. I mean, you get 7 games left. You need to go 4-3 in your final 7. Can you find a way to bowl eligibility? I'm not saying that's the standard, why they paid Bill Belichick $10 million, or whatever they're paying him. But I think it's doable. I think the real question is he long for North Carolina? Like, does he want to be there long term? And that's more challenging because I think his objective would be to get back to the NFL. I just don't think it's very clear now. 2 hiring cycles have come and gone, and the NFL hasn't hired Bill Belichick. So I don't know that there's an opportunity for him to get back into the NFL. Now, Pete Carroll, in his 70s, got hired there by the Raiders. So certainly the opportunity could arise somewhere. It's hard to imagine where that would be. I mean, the Titans are open. Is that something where the Titans might say, let's bring in Belichick, kind of like Dallas did with Parcells, come make us better for a short time, knowing you're not going to be here for a long time, and make us better for the next guy? Maybe that's a possibility, but we'll follow that as that moves along. We do have odds for the next coach fired. I'll get to that in just a second. We are brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. So log on to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com, because when you work with First South Farm Credit, they're going to look at ways that they can save you money on the bottom line. That's what they did for Macy Rushing.
Our loan officer took the liberty. We talked about like when rates dropped to like, please let us know, we would like to refinance, because when we closed, it was obviously high. And he took the liberty to, when it dropped, he did it himself. And he was like, hey, I saved y'all this much money. We were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Not many banks go out of their way and take time out of their day to save you money.
They do it at First South Farm Credit because that's what they've been doing at First South Farm Credit for 100 years, helping Louisianians buy land and, of course, save money when they can. firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit at firstsouthland.com. Oh, there it is. Well, I told you I was going to give you the latest odds, and then I went and clicked off of it. That's my bad, of the next coach fired. I can tell you the odds-on favorite to be the next coach fired is Billy Napier. I don't think that should come as any great surprise to anyone, but I'll have to update that after the top of the hour. My bad. SportsCenter's next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. As a matter of fact, our trip to Nashville, we'll be leaving Thursday, doing AFR Friday from Nashville. Our trip to Nashville is presented by Our Lady of the Lake. You see, at Our Lady of the Lake, they're so interwoven with all things LSU. They're a championship health partner of LSU Athletics. So the physicians you see caring for the Tigers on the field, the court, the gym, wherever it may be, those are Our Lady of the Lake physicians. The Student Health Center at LSU, Our Lady of the Lake has that contract as well. And then everyday champions. You've seen LSU athletes do NIL deals with Our Lady of the Lake. Jared Nussmeier's on billboards and television commercials everywhere. That's all part of their NIL initiative with LSU and NILSU Max. They've agreed to the naming rights to the new basketball arena. When you think LSU, you think Our Lady of the Lake, because Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together, we roar.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The National League Championship Series resumes tonight for the Dodgers and Brewers. Coverage 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Thanks in part to a brilliant start by Blake Snell in the opener. LA's got a 1-0 lead, but the bullpen, shaky last night, continues to be a concern for the defending World Series champs, points out ESPN MLB analyst Doug Glanville.
Well, they have the talent, right? You know, guys that have had experience, success, lefties, righties. It doesn't seem to be the issue. They just seem like they're not really executing from like pitch one. And, you know, it certainly is an issue against the Brewers, especially on the road. It's a comeback team that works walks, that's going to run the bases.
Yoshi Yamamoto starts Game 2 tonight for the Dodgers against the Brewers' Freddie Peralta. Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo told Ant One The Tonight Show he'd like to end his playing career in Greece after he retires from the NBA. Said he can play in the NBA until he's 36 to 38. NHL Senators captain Brady Tkachuk will miss at least 4 weeks due to a right wrist injury sustained in yesterday's loss to Nashville. Surgery is an option for Tkachuk.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday with Baker Mayfield having success in his fourth stop. I'll tell you which other QBs need a change of scenery if they actually want to succeed. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You. So. And Mr. Toby Time Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Brandon Taylor here in 15 minutes from right now. We'll look forward to that conversation, talk a little bit about LSU's defense, particular the safety play, which has been outstanding this year, how LSU has climbed back into the title of that moniker of DBU. We'll talk with BT here in 15 minutes. Todd McClure, 1 hour from right now. New Orleans Saints are getting ready to head to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears got a win on Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. Walk-off field goal there at the end. Unfortunately, Jaden Daniels' fumble cost his team. But the Saints are looking at two different strategies here. The team presently is preparing to go with their 1-5 record on the road to Chicago to try to figure out a way to win a game. And the organization is trying to figure out a way for this team to win moving forward. Well, the trade deadline is fast approaching, coming up on November the 4th. So a little less than a month. You're about 3 weeks away from the NFL trade deadline. And a season ago, New Orleans was very active at the trade deadline. And as we know, they dealt Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Commanders. So my opinion, I think you all know where I stand on this. The Saints are not in any position to win now. Very clear at 1-5. And if you have a way to purge veteran assets that are not going to be part of your long-term rebuild, and you can get assets that would be both younger and more cost-effective, then you do it. If you can send Marshawn Lattimore to Washington for a second-round pick, absolutely. So you look at the roster and who's available. Well, Adam Schefter has a list that he posted of potential trade candidates. These are potential players that front office executive coaches could be available ahead of the trade deadline. So there's some names that are big names that are pretty obvious. Like Kirk Cousins is at the top of the list, right? The Falcons have committed to Michael Penix. Could they move Cousins if the price is right? Like, quite honestly, I don't know why Cincinnati hasn't already made that call. They traded for Flacco. Maybe they did make the call. They didn't like the price tag. But, I mean, if you're trying to hold this thing together until Burrow comes back, that would have made a ton of sense, but whatever. Russell Wilson's also on that list. Breece Hall. Alvin Kamara is on the list, according to Adam Schefter. But he's not the only Saint. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks is on that list as well, as is Cameron Jordan. So it's a complex conversation to have because you have to weigh several different things. Number one, do these veteran players, most notably Kamara and Cam Jordan, do they want to be traded? Now, for whatever it is worth, Ian Rappaport with NFL Media has a report out there that New Orleans is getting calls about Kamara, but Kamara has told Mickey Loomis that he wants to remain a Saint for the remainder of his franchise, he wants to remain with the franchise for the remainder of his career. Remember, last year, Kamara signed a 2-year, $24.5 million deal, signed it in October. So he has signed through 2026. It was an extension on last year's deal. So he's got under contract for 25 and 26. So before next year, Kamara will have a decision to make. Does he want to play beyond 2026? Does he want to play 2026? I don't know. But the thing that Mickey Loomis reportedly, according to Rappaport, did was he was very proactive. So as to say, he went to Kamara to say, hey, look, we're getting calls about you. Are you interested in us trying to put a deal together? Do you want to go? Would you want to go? And Kamara, according to the report from Rappaport, wants to stay in New Orleans. He's 30 years old, averaging 4 yards a carry. And it would be one of those things where it would gut you to see Alvin Kamara playing in a different uniform. But I also look and I say, man, we saw Johnny Unitas play with the Chargers, man. Tom Brady played for the Bucs. Emmitt Smith played for the Cardinals. Jerry Rice was a Seahawk and a Raider and a Bronco. I think he was with the Broncos too, wasn't he? He bounced around a bunch at the end of his career. The point is, like, if some of the greatest players in the history of the sport play for different teams at the end of their career, so too can Alvin Kamara. But if he wants to remain a Saint and it's fiscally reasonable for him to do so, then you keep him. Cam Jordan is an interesting one as well because, he's one where the contract for Cam Jordan doesn't really preclude you from moving on after this season. So, and it doesn't do you much good, actually, to move on from him right now. Next year, he's an unrestricted free agent. Cam Jordan is. And so, he's got a $9 million cap hit. His dead number is 28. So, yeah, you take a little bit of a ding this year, but it doesn't really matter. You would eat that against your cap this year because you're not actively trying to win right now anyway. You've got $6 million in cap space. No, forgive me, I'm sorry, that's Cam's cash this year. But the point being, like, it wouldn't devastate you if you moved on from Cam and you were able to get an asset. The question is, does he want to finish his career in New Orleans, or does he want to have an opportunity to go somewhere else to try to win at the end? This happened with J.J. Watt. He was a Houston Texan. He's the greatest defensive player in the history of that organization. He was such a great asset to the city of Houston. But at the end of his career, the Texans said, hey, look, do you want to go somewhere where you have a chance to win while we rebuild? And so he went to Arizona, and it didn't work out. They didn't win. but he took a swing at trying to get a ring at the end of his career. And Cam can, go down on this sinking ship and stay a Saint forever if he wants to, or there's the possibility he could go to a contending team as a rotational piece and try to get on a playoff run and win a championship. And there's a lot of teams that would take a veteran Cam Jordan who could maybe give you 30 really productive snaps a game, 20 to 30 snaps a game, and a great leader in the locker room, someone with a ton of experience and who's been on teams that have gone on playoff runs before. Like, there's value to that for a team trying to win right now. It's not a long-term commitment. They're in a similar mode to what the Saints were in for a lot of years, but aren't anymore. I think the receivers are actually far more interesting. If Kamara wants to stay and Cam wants to stay, they're going to stay. But the receivers are more interesting because you got Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks. Like, you picked up the fifth-year option on Olave for next year. And listen, I've spoken my piece on Chris Olave. That's a guy that's not a number one and does not need to be paid like a number one. If that's what he's seeking, then you picked up the fifth-year option, so he's here next year. But after that, then he's leaving in free agency if you're not going to pay him what he wants. And the Saints have had this hard and fast rule about not going. It's so weird for a team that's so fiscally irresponsible. They end up standing true to their principles when it comes to their free agents. They have a number set. They're not going to go over it. And so you saw guys like Marcus Williams and Mark Ingram leave the organization over relative pennies on the dollar because the Saints wouldn't budge over the number they wanted. They were willing to pay. So if you can get real honest with Olave's representation right now about what he thinks he's going to command on the open market, and if you don't agree, then trade him. And I get that it might sting to see a former first-round pick walk out the door for a day 3 pick or something along those lines, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. But you would rather get something for him than watch him walk in free agency eventually, which is probably going to happen, which I actually hope happens instead of watching New Orleans invest number one wide receiver money into a guy that's clearly not. Brandon Cooks is old. Someone wants to give you something for him, great. He's made an almost non-existent impact on your offense so far through 6 games. And totally shocking. Who could have seen that coming? We talked about it all offseason. He's the same receiver as Shaheed and Olave. He's the same. He's the same size. He's older, and he's been less productive in the last 2 years. But that's the guy you went and signed. I screamed at the top of my lungs about letting Marquez Valdez-Scantling walk away, and instead you went and paid more money for an older receiver who was less productive and the same size as the guys you already got. If someone's willing to give you anything at all for Brandon Cooks, take it. He's got 13 catches for 124 yards so far through 6 games on 13 targets. On 17 targets. Yes. Someone's going to give you something for Cooks, take it. I don't think it's going to happen because only the New Orleans Saints would have signed Brandon Cooks at his age and his productivity to a multi-year contract. So it's almost impossible to think someone's going to give you an asset for an aging veteran player that you signed to a multi-year deal. Again, that's the downside of having awful front office leadership and management when you sign aging, declining players to multi-year deals. Stupid. So I don't think you're going to get anything for Cooks. The real player that might have value is Shaheed. You signed Shaheed to a 1-year deal. And remember, he was coming off injury. So you signed him to a 1-year deal. And that's a guy that if he keeps playing at the level he is, he's got 26 catches already for 316 and 2 scores. He's a true deep threat. If Rashid Shaheed and the New Orleans Saints right now are on different planets for what they think he's going to be worth after the season when he hits free agency, that's one where I think you have to look at saying, can we trade this guy? Could we trade this guy to a contending team? And then listen, when he hits free agency after the season, maybe you make a run at him. Or the team that might trade for him would probably try to lock him up in a long-term deal. It'd probably be part of the trade. But Shaheed is the one that actually has real value. He's a home run hitter on offense. He's a tough dude. He's young. Like, Shaheed is the guy that I think would actually have some real trade value. He's 27. You would just have to decide, do you want Shaheed to be a cornerstone piece of what you're building for the future? Like, are you willing to invest a 4 or 5 year deal into Rashid Shaheed north of 15, 20 million per. And if that's the case, you're going to give Shaheed $75 million, then okay. But if not, then he's probably going to go test free agency. And before you let him do that, get something for him, for the investment you've made in him. That's the handful of players you're keeping an eye on, but the one that would seem to have the most value in a trade situation would be Rashid Shaheed. Again, November 4th is the trade deadline. We're going to keep an eye on it. Ross Jackson's going to be here 1 hour from right now. I'm going to ask him about all this. He got a big piece coming up at LouisianaSports.net elaborating on all of this stuff. So we'll get Ross's opinion here in just a little bit. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Hey, I love telling you about ARCO. ARCO Power Systems, ARCCO, ARCO.com, ARCO.com, ARCO.com. This is industrial generator power. These are not residential generators. This is not your home standby generator. This is generator power for your business. Think about it. When power goes out, what happens to your business? Well, ARCO Power Systems makes sure you have the answer to that question. It's critical backup energy solutions for the industrial sector. It's ARCO Power Systems. They can sell you a generator and permanently install it. They can rent you a generator, or they can service your generator. And they're everywhere. By the way, it's not just for storms. Think about events. You got a big, concert event, a big event coming up where you need generator power, a fair, whatever the case may be. You need big generator power. They can bring these portable generators to your event. It's ARCO Power Systems. Their home base is in Baton Rouge and Airline Highway. But you look at the many different locations. I mean, from San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas, Little Rock, all over Louisiana, east to Mobile. It's ARCO Power Systems, ARCO.com, ARCO.com, ARCCO, ARCO.com. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Former Tiger safety Brandon Taylor, former number 18. He'll join us, talk a little LSU defense at secondary, how they've improved so dramatically here in year 2 under Blake Baker. Certainly helps to have good talent, which they do. But we'll talk to BT about it next. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking of selling your home, your first call should be to Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. As a matter of fact, even before you call Darren, your first move should probably be to go to the website, agent225.com. Recently redesigned and with one of the coolest tools on the website that you'll find in real estate. If you go to agent225.com, do it right now. Grab your phone, or if you're sitting at your, if you're driving, don't do this. But if you're sitting at your desk or you're at home, whatever it may be, go to your desktop, grab your phone, type in agent225.com, agent225.com. There's a home value tool. Just scroll down, you see it right there. Type in your address. Just type in your address, hit enter, and it'll use local market data to give you an accurate value of your home right now. Agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We thought we got the best corner in the portal, and he is playing to that level. And, you know, you hope that you've made a good decision in vetting out all of the opportunities that are there, but he has delivered. He's purposeful in his work. He is fearless in his preparation, and then plays fearlessly with no fear in the game because he knows he can do it. That's a great mix for a corner.
Brian Kelly meeting with reporters on Monday talking about Mansour Delane, and he said in the offseason, Delane had gotten a third-round grade from the NFL but wanted to come to school in the SEC and try to earn a first-round draft pick grade, which seemingly is well on his way to doing. Brandon Taylor, former number 18. You hear him now on the LSU Sports Radio Network with Hunt and Marlon Favor right there on game days. BT, great to have you, man. How are you?
What's going on, Matt? Everything going good on my end.
Yeah, man. Tigers are 5-1. People are griping a little bit, but every goal is in play, and a big part of that, of course, is the defense. You and I talked a lot last year about a lot of the struggles they had. I'm going to ask one that might seem like an easy answer, BT, but how were they able to improve so dramatically from last year to this year in the secondary?
I just think it was just vetting players the proper way and just not just going to grab anybody and vetting like safeties and corners that complement each other, and they complement the rest of the defense as well.
Very clearly, it was a talent upgrade, right? I mean,
most definitely.
Mansour Delane, A.J. Halsey, Tamarcus Cooley, they've all been great. When you look at Delane, what stands out most to you?
Just his maturity and confidence as a player. The way he plays, like, relaxed, and he never gets flustered or he doesn't panic as a DB. The worst thing you could do as a defensive back is panic, especially when the ball is in the air. He doesn't make many pass interferences or many mistakes, and it's hard to do that for a complete game, and the fact that he can do that just separates him from the rest of the back.
Hey, BT, it's hard to commit a pass interference when they don't throw your way either, dog.
Most definitely.
Nobody throws at him, though. I mean, it's incredible. He just goes to sleep on the other side of the field, basically.
Oh, yeah, but, man, I mean, it's a gift and a curse, but because you don't get much action. But when you prepare yourself for that, that lets you know, like, the maturity level of that individual. Yeah. Like, the fact that he can handle that and not get frustrated or anything or something like that. It's almost like a badge of honor that people show you that type of respect. But it has been earned.
And you got pretty fired up last year. Remember we were talking about safety play, which, for being honest, man, for as long as I've covered this team, that was probably as poor a safety play as I've seen at LSU. A.J. Halsey almost single-handedly has flipped that around. What makes him so effective at what he does?
He stays square, and he slow plays everything. And a defensive back, the one thing you want to do is play with a square body and slow play everything. That way you're not overrunning things or making missteps or, like, you don't want to hesitate. He doesn't hesitate as a player. Like, he slow plays everything, and then when it's time to react, he reacts, and he gets there with a bad attitude. And that's all you can ask for from a good safety and a defensive backup playing for LSU.
Does he remind you, his playing style remind you of anyone, BT? Because I'm going to tell you, first time I laid eyes on him when we went out to practice, he kind of looks more like a linebacker than a safety. You wouldn't look. I didn't look and go like, oh, that's the safety they got from Houston. What stands out to you about him?
It's almost like he's sneaky fast. Like, it's not like you see him like lightning fast, like he's just out there just hauling ass or anything like that. But he gets there, and when he does get there, he covers a lot of ground, and you don't see him like giving up many big plays or anything like that. And I just love the way the kid plays. It's just a relaxing thing about him. Like, you feel relaxed seeing and knowing that he's on the field.
6 foot 222. I mean, he's a solid safety, man. Just looking at the way he's built. Brandon Taylor's our guest. One of the things that you said, was, would you say playing centered or squared? What did you say was key to playing safety? How did you say it?
Oh, just staying square.
Square,
most people you see there, if I know for a fact, the one thing that Coach John Chavis always told me, he said, if I see you getting out of that box, knowing that you covering the safety, and I know he can't outrun you, and you know he can't outrun you, why are you not slow playing things like that? You eliminating yourself from making certain plays, like treating a tight end like a wide receiver if you know you can't outrun you. So the fact that he can do that and just keep his body square and be able to take any type of angle to eliminate any type of missteps is key in that backfield.
So, BT, what happened go back to Saturday, that 72-yard run by Matt Fuller. What happened on that play?
I just think they got out leveraged, and it's just one of them plays. I call it paying your taxes as a defense. I mean, they bound to get one. Those guys are D1 players. They're going to get theirs at some point in time, but it's just eliminating it from happening multiple times, and that's what they came out and did in the second half. It's just one of them things. He took a bad angle, and put it like this. That running back probably would have done that to me because he was a whole lot faster than what I thought he was. Cause I seen Monsieur Delane trying to make up some ground on him, and that boy just hit a second gear.
Man, Cooley had a shot at him, went high, missed him, and then you're right. It was a foot race, and he outran Monsieur Delane. How do you this week as a defense? Brandon Taylor's with us here for a couple more minutes. How do you as a defense this week deal with Diego Pavia with his ability to run and pass?
And truth be told, I'm going to be God honest. This probably one of the games that scared me the most this year is this Vanderbilt team because they score in bunches and volumes, and he's just, as a quarterback, you can't never count him out, and you can't never count him down. And the scheme that they run offensively is a lot of misdirection. So, and the one thing that's like kind of the kryptonite to a fast defense is misdirection. So you have to be honest and play with your eyes and read your keys, and everybody to stay home and put when you're playing against an offense like this.
BT, last year, one of the big bugaboos we talked about so much was LSU struggled with the running quarterbacks, right? If it was Jalen Milroe or Marcel Reed at Texas A&M, when they played Vanderbilt, they really did like an outstanding job in that game. LSU won it 24-17. And by and large, man, they kept Diego Pavia in check. He only threw for 186, and he ran 6 times for 43 yards, and one of those was a 36-yarder. So aside from the 36-yarder, they really bottled him up. So what did they do so effectively last year? How did they replicate it?
First of all, we had to give them a good gap as far as the offense and score over 20 points because this Vanderbilt team, they score points. Like, Let's not take this lightly. This is not the Vanderbilt of old. This is a capital V, not a lowercase v now. So this is a different type of Vanderbilt team, and they got a swagger with them. Like, so we're gonna have to give our defense some type of leeway, but we have to win the turnover battle. in this game. We won last year when we played against Vanderbilt, and I think that's what separated us from them.
All right. Hey, one more for you. Not to bring back a bad memory, but LSU lost 2 weeks ago to Ole Miss. What was your takeaway defensively and what happened in that game where they were on the field for so long?
We got outcoached. You can't put nothing around it. Like, you got to understand who was in that press box and who was on that sideline for Ole Miss, and they couldn't have dialed it up any better than that. Like, you just if it's 1v1, they 1v1 as far as the coaches. They beat us, like, hands down. You can't argue about it. You just that one right there. You chunk it up. You take your L, and you see them in the playoffs, or you see them in the SEC championship.
Man, I would love to see that game again. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Give me that. Give me a do-over in that game, man. God, I would love to see a do-over in that game.
That's what you come here for. Like, you can see them again. I would wear that badge of honor like none other.
Brandon Taylor, former Tiger great, number 18. You hear him on the LSU Sports Radio Network with Hunt Palmer and Big Fave, Marlon Favorite. BT, we always appreciate the time, man. Thanks for a few minutes.
All right, Matt. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. It's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. And I'm fond of saying, listen, if you want to go get a bunch of quotes and call a bunch of companies to see who's going to give you the best price, or the cheapest price, I should say, remember what your mama told you. You get what you pay for. If someone's cheaper, probably a reason they're cheaper. With Relief Windows, they're never going to be the cheapest. I'm just telling you right now. If you call around to shop price to see who's going to give you the lowest price, that will never be Relief Windows. It can't be. They invest too much into their business. They have measure techs that specifically measure to make sure the windows that come to your house are specifically exactly made to the specifications of your home. They have install crews to make sure you have an expert installation so nothing goes wrong there. They have service teams, not their installers, a whole separate service department just to service you if something ever goes wrong. They do offer a true lifetime transferable warranty. Some companies can talk about their warranty. Have they been around long enough to validate if it's a lifetime transferable warranty? Relief Windows has. So, you want the best experience, the best service, the best product, the best all of it? You want Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, they do shutters as well. ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, halfway home here on a Tuesday edition of AFR Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Mel Kiper has got his first big board out. Where is Garrett Nussmeier among the quarterbacks? Lots of number one overall buzz before the season. So far, halfway through his fifth year senior season, where does Mel Kiper have him? We'll get to that when we come back. Todd McClure in 30 minutes. Talk about LSU offensive line play. And Ross Jackson weighs in next hour on all the trade deadline rumors involving the New Orleans Saints. We'll get to that as well. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on Tuesday's AFR.
After Further Review.
Man, I can't wait till my friends over at Duplessis Builders drop this video. They just finished a gorgeous, like jaw-dropping custom pool build. And they can do that at Duplessis Builders. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Any type of resort-style pool you want with any specifications, oh yeah. When you have the type of credibility, background, engineering skill that Derek Duplessis and his team have, oh yeah. They will build you that gorgeous resort-style pool at your home. They also, however, have pool options that you can pick starting as low as $49,000. So when I say there's a pool for every budget, there's a pool for every budget. You want to get on the books? Start today. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Go to the website where it says pick your pool now. You can choose the specifications. You could have that done today if you want. Online at DuplessisBuilders.net.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's the only one who really understands what gets me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Rouse's wants to help you cover the spread this football season. We're talking the ultimate tailgate spread. Party trays, dips, fried chicken, anything you want to throw on the grill. Plus, plenty of ice cold drinks to wash it all down. All you have to do is register now at 1045ESPN.com for your chance to win. One winner will be chosen each week, and everyone who registers will be entered into a drawing for a grand prize of postseason tickets. Rouse's Markets, your tailgating headquarters.
Mel Kiper put out his first big board for the 2026 NFL Draft, and there's a heavy dose of LSU flavor. Now, remember, the big board is not a mock draft. This is ranking the top 25 players overall and then the top 10 at each position. Interestingly, the number one player on Mel Kiper's big board is someone who was not on anybody's radar 6 weeks ago, and that's Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. 6'3". He's completing 72% of his passes, a hair under 1,400 passing yards. For context, Garrett Nussmeier right now is at 1,413 yards, 1,413 yards. Dante Moore's at 1,396. Context of what Nussmeier is doing is important at times. Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame, Kiper has as number 2 on his big board, followed by Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, and Peter Woods, the defensive tackle from Clemson. One of the big takeaways I have when I look at this board, Peter Woods, number 5. TJ Parker, the defensive end from Clemson, number 15. Avion Terrell, the cornerback from Clemson, number 17. The point is, people can poo-poo LSU's win at Clemson. And I understand because they felt bad for themselves and face-planted. Not that dissimilar from what we just saw from Penn State. Hello. Dudes that are 18, 19, and 20-year-olds sometimes are an emotional wreck. Shocker. And I think that happened. Clemson got sky high, lost to LSU, struggled against Troy, then got nipped in a game against Georgia Tech where they were sloppy, play a clean game. They win that game by double digits. Instead, they're sitting there 1-2 to start the season. They mope around, and they get punked by Syracuse. They've got it together now, and they may not lose again, and they may find themselves in the ACC championship game. I don't know that at 9-3 they're going to be in the college football playoff without, but they could be a 2-loss team in the ACC championship game, and if they are, they'll have a great shot of being back in the playoff. But all that to say, there's tons of talent on that Clemson team. One that surprises me a little bit on Kuiper's big board, he's got Ty Simpson 16 overall, and then he's got Lenora Sellers 21. So some of these SEC quarterbacks you might see making a push. He does not have, that's not surprising, he does not have Garrett Nussmeier in his top 25. As a matter of fact, when you look at the positional rankings, he's got Garrett Nussmeier as the 7th best quarterback on the board. So Moore, Mendoza, Simpson, Sellers, that's your top 4, then John Mateer at 5. Carson Beck, 6. Garrett Nussmeier, 7. Sam Levitt, Jaden Mayava of USC, 9. And then Drew Aller of Penn State, number 10. So if Nuss sticks there and ends up being right around the 7th best quarterback in this draft or taken 7th, it'll be interesting to see how in demand quarterbacks are in this year's draft, because it could be like a couple of years ago where you have 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 10 picks. Or it could be a year where the cream rises and you have a couple at the top of the draft and you don't see anyone else until round 2 or 3. So it remains to be seen how the rest of the season plays out. But other than Nussmeier, there's not another offensive player from LSU on Mel Kiper's top 10 positional rankings. A little surprised not to see Braylon Moore in there. And when you look at receivers, I understand that you're seeing a bit of a it's been difficult for these receivers to find productivity because there's so many of them. But, I mean, you see some mock drafts that have Aaron Anderson as a first-round pick. Obviously, Barian Brown has huge, tremendous upside there as well. Those are going to be ones worth watching with some of the skill guys. No defensive ends. That's a big, in the top 10, that's a big surprise to not see Peyton or Pyburn on a top 10 defensive end list. No defensive tackles, so no Bernard Gooden there. No off-ball linebackers, which means no Whit Weeks, which is surprising. They do have underclassmen, but he does not have Whit Weeks among the top 10 off-the-ball linebackers. And as far as outside linebackers, he rates Harold Perkins 10th as the 10th best outside linebacker in this coming draft. Mansour Delane, he's got as the 3rd best cornerback behind Jamad McCoy of Tennessee and Avion Terrell of Clemson. So Delane 3rd, the Brendan Cisse, who we just saw this past week from South Carolina, as the 4th best cornerback. And then with safeties, he's got A.J. Halsey as the 10th best safety in this year's draft. So for context, and I think the reason this is important to note, you wonder why some of these guys, veteran players decide in this era, the NIL rev share era, to play another year in school instead of going to the NFL. So for context, the 10th safety drafted a season ago went in round 4. So if you're A.J. Halsey, and a year ago he could have gone to the draft, but instead decides to go play at LSU and make a very healthy NIL deal to play another season and to play in the SEC and to elevate his draft stock, that's a heck of a lot better than wherever in the draft he would have gone a year ago, if at all, to now being somewhere hovering around maybe a late day 2, early day 3 pick. And even if you're not going to cash in big time as a late day 2, early day 3 pick on your rookie deal, because a team will have invested a draft pick in you, you're going to have a better opportunity of making the team and sticking around. Harold Perkins, if you look at outside linebacker / defensive ends, the 10th defensive end last year went in round 3. which might be where you see Perkins targeted for this season. Look, there's a lot of time between now and the draft at the end of April. Got half a season to play. You got Combine, Pro Day, all that stuff that's going to play itself out. But an interesting starting point here on Mel Kiper's big board for the 2024 NFL Draft. The one thing that's clear for LSU is all of the talent. It's what we've been talking about for a while. All of this talent you have invested in this roster, the money that you have invested in this roster, that's all gone after the season. So maximize it here in the second half of the year. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Drink Evamore. I get pictures almost every day from y'all. Either on my text line, Twitter, Instagram, DM, Facebook, wherever it may be. At the store, you see a pallet of Evamore, you snap a photo, you post it. Maybe you're driving in your car, you pull up into a gas station, you grab a bottle of Evamore, snap it in your cup holder. I appreciate so much y'all send them. I always send it on to my friends at Evamore, and they love to see all that stuff. Bottom line is it's delicious. It's a healthier alternative. It's natural artesian water. It's a Louisiana product. So support a great Louisiana business. Drink Evamore. EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Available at great local retailers or online at Evamore.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Todd McClure in 15 minutes. I do want to talk about this LSU offensive line. We talked to Todd in the preseason about what was realistic, how quickly that 5 new starters could come together. Now you're at the halfway point of the season. Let's assess with a guy who's in the Falcons' Ring of Honor and played more than a dozen years in the NFL. We'll do that in 15 minutes from right now. All right, quick break. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. There's always great info on Gordon's social medias. So I always encourage you to go follow at Get Gordon on all social medias, at Get Gordon. And sometimes they'll give you, like testimonials. And Don, who's a real client, there's his testimonial that's up right now on all their social media. He was injured in a wreck with an 18-wheeler and talked about how, they had kind of been slow played and how Gordon's team went to work and went to bat for them and got them what they needed, he and his family, to get back on track to living their lifestyle. So you've been injured in an accident. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Go to getgordon.com, get Gordon, and get it done.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, Our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're with us. Big shout out, as always, to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Always our pleasure to be partnered with great companies, and Sunshine is certainly that. Bunkie and below, you want a Deere, one place you're going is Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. All right, Muso Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Wrong fader. All right, Monday Night Football doubleheader. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders were part of the second half of that. I'd call it a so-so night for Daniels. There was good. There's also a lot of bad there for him. The good, 211 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Solid, also ran for 52 yards. The bad is the 2 turnovers. He did throw an interception and then also lost a fumble, pretty critical one at the end of the ball game that ultimately gave the Bears the ball back in order to go and kick the game-winning field goal. It was on a fumbled exchange with running back Krosky Merritt. Jaden Daniels, after the game, talked about kind of what went wrong.
I just lost the ball. Completely my fault. Didn't give Bill a chance, so it was my fault.
It was one of 2 fumbles in the game for Jaden Daniels. The other one he just flat out dropped, but it bounced right back up to him, so he recovered. So night, plenty of yards, 3 tuds, but 2 turnovers, 1 really critical. See if he can bounce back the next week. Buffalo Bills, obviously in action as well. Boy, they took it on the chin against the Atlanta Falcons. But Tre'Davious White was out there for Buffalo. 2 tackles in the ballgame, also a pass defense. But it was really the running game that took Buffalo out, so not a lot of opportunity there for Tre'Davious White. Bills lost 2 now, 2 in a row now, 2 straight. See if they can bounce back. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, helping you cover the spread, not the point spread, your tailgate spread all throughout the season. Saints and Tigers are both on the road this week, so maybe you're going to have a watch party at your house. 11 a.m. kickoff, meaning maybe you start early, getting something on the smoker or the grill in time for lunch to watch the Tigers whip up on the Commodores in Nashville. Rouse's has everything you want. Go to the butcher, you get some steaks, you get some fish, get some ribs, whatever you want. Or if you want to let Rouse's cook for you, they can handle that as well. All your party platters and tailgate trays, they got everything you need over at Rouse's. All your beers, your bourbons, your wines, and, of course, all the beverages for the entire family. They got all your desserts. You want the purple and gold themed desserts? They got them already made. Grab and go. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, it's after further review, and we're glad you're hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. If you want to opine, feel free. I will talk in about 20 minutes or so. I will have Ross Jackson here with us from LouisianaSports.net. And I want to talk with Ross about the handful of players, current Saints players, that are rumored right now for to be in the mix to potentially be shopped here at the trade deadline. So who's potentially on the trade block and who might be remaining with New Orleans, all that sort of stuff. The other thing that is sort of an interesting layer and subplot is that the Saints are going to face Dennis Allen this weekend. Dennis Allen, of course, now is the defensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears. And that's something Kellen Moore was asked about when he met with reporters on Monday.
Really stout against the run. Everything's really connected, fits really well. They play very contested football on the back end, and so, I feel like we played New Orleans at one point. It just felt like every year we were playing, we'd go up against Dennis, and so I have a ton of respect for him. I think the world of him. He does a really good job with that group. He's always done, forever. You couldn't really run the football, especially when you came down here and you had to play in the dome, and it's like, holy cow, I might run for 50 yards, and so they were battles. They're really fun battles, and so this will be fun to kind of, see what their new flavor is in Chicago. You're always evolving each and every place you go, each and every stop. It's different rosters, different constructions, and so, I think you can see their group getting better each week, and so they're going to be playing with a lot of confidence.
Speaking of Ross Jackson, his column about as he called it, the Dennis Allen revenge game. It's live at LouisianaSports.net if you want to go read that. Again, everything's always free at LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no freemium, no article limits. It's no subscriptions. Everything's free. LouisianaSports.net. But Ross has that piece up right now about the Saints going up against their former coach in Dennis Allen. What's interesting about the Bears defense, look, quietly, Chicago's at 3-2. And that defense, though, is 27th in the NFL in scoring at 28.2 points per game. Now, that's skewed because they gave up 52 in week 2 when they went to Detroit. But pretty consistently, amid their 3-game winning streak, teams have been able to move the ball. Dallas scored 14, but then the Raiders and Commanders both scored 24 each of the last 2 weeks. We'll see if the Saints offense can get going against Dennis Allen. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Remember, they are a full-service optical shop. So we talk about the Williamson Eye Center. It's 3 things. It's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You need your eye exam, they got you covered. And the Williamson Eye Center has locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge proper, Ascension, Livingston, down in the river parishes, Zachary, St. Francisville, all over. Eyewear. If you wear contacts or glasses, they can update your prescription and they can fill it, right? If you want new glasses or contacts, the Williamson Eye Center can help you there as well. And eye surgery. If you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, you want to wake up in the morning and see. Let Dr. Blake Williamson give you the gift of sight. Call the Williamson Eye Center and go for that consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Dodgers hoping tonight's the night Shohei Ohtani finally gets going at the plate in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series against the Brewers. This postseason, the two-way megastar is hitting .138, 2 home runs, 5 RBI, and a .638 OPS. Part of his struggles are due to how opposing pitchers are pitching to him, explains ESPN MLB analyst Jessica Mendoza.
Every team has tried to get him with fastballs inside, and because of that, because he's swinging at them. It's one thing to get those pitches and take them, but because he's swinging at them, it's creating bad habits. So when he finally gets a cookie, he gets a pitch a little bit more over the middle. That front side is already now flying, and it makes him fly out weak to the left side of the field.
Game 2, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. LA up 1-0 starts Yoshi Yamamoto against Milwaukee's Freddie Peralta. Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo told Ant One's The Tonight Show he'd like to end his playing career in Greece after he retires from the NBA. The 30-year-old set to begin his 13th season with Milwaukee next week. He said he believes he can play in the NBA until he's 36 to 38 years old.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 3 off. We go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Ross Jackson will jump aboard with us in about a dozen minutes from right now. We'll talk about Saints players that might be part of these NFL trade deadline conversations. Always appreciate we get an opportunity to visit with our buddy Todd McClure. Last time he was in studio, we were surprising him with his election into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. This is going to be probably a less enjoyable conversation, but we always enjoy when we get to talk to T-Mac. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
The Snapback with T-Mac is the new show. I mean, you're trying to take all of our jobs?
No, man. Matt, what I'm trying to do, I enjoy it. Me and my son are able to talk a little football. You know, it's maybe something he wants to do later on in life. He's a senior in high school, so it's a good way for us to bond a little bit, and I'll talk football 24/7 if I had the opportunity.
Is it Facebook only, or y'all do YouTube as well?
No, we're on Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, if you still have MySpace. But yeah, our YouTube, we're trying to grow the YouTube a little bit.
Oh, man. Snapback with T-Mac if you want to give it a follow. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this offensive line, man. I remember you and I, we talked before the season started, and I kind of asked you, 5 new starters, like what's realistic as far as how quickly 5 new players can come together? Well, now we're halfway through the season. So give me your assessment of how difficult it is for 5 new players to come together as one and where they are right now.
Yeah, Matt, it's extremely difficult. And I know we talked before the season got started, and, the talk going into the Clemson game was, the 5 starters and maybe 2 or 3 more guys that would rotate in. And we said, if you got 8 guys that are probably going to play, then you may not have 5. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that right now. I hate talking bad about college kids, but Weston Davis is really struggling. He's a guy that's long and tall, and he's not using his length at all. He's letting guys get into his body, and he has really struggled. And I think that has hurt us on the offensive line. But I think it's the transfer portal era where, if a receiver, you can go see if a guy can run and catch. A linebacker, you can see if he can get off of blocks and make tackles. The hardest part of that transfer portal era for me is finding a cohesive unit of offensive linemen. And the days of building that, when I was playing, we had 4 guys that came in the same recruiting class, and we grinded together for 3, some of us 4 years before you got the opportunity to get on the field, and you built chemistry. And I think a little bit of that is lost right now.
Can you elaborate a little more on, like, in a way that maybe the listener who's never played on the offensive line could understand why it's so important and equally so difficult? Like what you mean by like 5 need to play as one?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can think back, I'll just use my days in Atlanta, for instance. I had a guy when we had our most success, Justin Blaylock. Justin Blaylock was my left guard, and we played together for 5 years. So I knew, say we were running zone to the left, inside zone to the left. I knew what his first step was going to be like, and I knew where I had to fit on that combination block to get up to the next back, to get up to the linebacker. And if we're going outside zone, I knew the speed he was going to come off with and where I needed to fit. My hat needed to be a little more play side, but I knew where I had to be with Blaylock for 5 years. And I think now, with these guys a little bit, you're rolling at left guard. We're having, some injuries and some struggles there, and just not fitting well on combination blocks across the board, and too many guys playing on an edge of a defender, and a defender's able to cover 2 gaps when he can do that to you.
Todd McClure is our guest. You mentioned Davis, and I share the same sentiment as you, man. He's a young guy. He's trying hard. He's a physically imposing young guy. He's, I think, going to be an awesome player. But there's also some objective truth, Todd. I think we all recognize he struggled. Look, he got pulled in the second half of Louisiana Tech. It's a thing that we can all see, right? But you said something interesting there where you said, like, he's not using his length. He's letting guys. He's 6'7", Todd. He's a giant.
Right. I know.
What would you? I know you're not the coach, and we don't know what they're doing in practice. But like, if you were working with him, like, what would you work on with him? What would you have him do?
Yeah, for him, I'm watching this last game. Of course, he was going against Stewart, who was an absolute stud.
Yeah.
And with his hands, he was reactive instead of being proactive. And what I mean by that is, he was waiting on Stewart or letting him get into him before he did anything with his hands. And some of the best tackles I played with that were tall, long guys, they would do things with their hands to show that defensive end. They would put a hand out there and let him swat at it, and then they would pull it back and then get in his chest, So it would be little things working on his punch, his eyes. I think his eyes are all wrong, the target he's looking at. Because you watch him on his pass sets, and he's oversetting guys, or he's not setting far enough. And his eyes and his hands, I think you would drill forever, and I think that's something that he has to improve on, and I think he will. he's a young player who has a lot of talent. He's getting thrown into the fire right now, and I think we'll look up in 3 years, and he'll be a strength to this program.
Yeah, he is former Tiger great Todd McClure, newly elected member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. He's part of the Falcons Ring of Honor. By the way, did you see what the Falcons did for Greg Brooks? Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, man, I did, and I love Ryan. His podcast, those guys chanting, and Fred. I play with those guys, but that was unbelievable. Greg Brooks, the LSU guy, and for Mr. Blank, is truly a great owner, and he's always trying to do things to give back and to help people out. And I don't know if he had anything to do with that. I know it was Raheem Morris, but I thought that was really cool, with my LSU ties, seeing that. And it looked like it truly touched Brooks' heart, and that's what it's all about.
It was pretty awesome, man. For those that missed it, we have a story up at LouisianaSports.net, but Raheem Morris's wife, Nikki, saw the Pivot episode with Greg Brooks and went to Raheem and was like, gotta help. What can we do? And so the Morrises invited Greg Brooks as a guest of the Falcons for a day. And so he got to go spend a day at the facility there with the team. And they gave him his own jersey. And his former teammate, Felipe Franks, with Arkansas, is with the Falcons now.
Right.
And they gave Greg Brooks his own jersey. The whole team came by and dapped him. It was awesome. I mean,
yeah, it was.
I hate the Atlanta Falcons with every fiber of my being, and you know that. But I agree with you on Arthur Blank. I mean, he's an owner who gets it and has clearly built great culture in that entire organization,
right.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to completely deviate there, but it was worth talking about. It was a really cool thing. Hey, you mentioned the transfers. Let me get a couple in there because Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson have been, I think, objectively LSU's two best offensive linemen. They're also the most experienced. Yeah, okay, so elaborate. What do you like about the two of them?
I just love I think more than anything, their consistency. You watch the way they play the game and the way they get after it at the second level. I think Thompson at times this year hadn't looked as good because go back to combination blocks and D-line running twist games, and he's next to Davis, who's inexperienced, and sometimes, what the right tackle's doing may make the right guard look a little worse. But those guys have been, you don't notice them. And when you don't notice an offensive lineman, they're getting the job done. And, those are two guys that were huge pickups for this O-line.
I asked Brian Kelly, two more. I asked Brian Kelly yesterday about the possibility of moving Josh Thompson to right tackle because that's a position he played in 2023 at Northwestern. He was the starter there for every game, and then last year moved to right guard, and he's playing right guard now. What do you think about that as a possibility? Now, they said they're sticking with Davis. Kelly said they're sticking with Davis, but what would you think about that as a possibility?
Matt, right now, to me, Davis is struggling, and it's affecting our running game. It's affecting our passing game. The fact that a change hadn't been made already, it may be that we don't have anybody else or anybody they can trust, because believe me, those coaches, their jobs are on the line, and they're not going to keep putting a guy back out there if they feel like it's going to affect their job security. So right now, to me, they feel like, or so far, he's been their best option, and that's a little bit scary because he struggled. And normally, when you see a guy that's struggling that much, he would have already been replaced. Whatever will help this running game, man, and whatever will help us be able to get the ball down the field. And like you talked about, I don't know these guys. I haven't seen them practice, so I don't know how this group gels.
Last thing, Todd, what have been your early impressions of Karius Kern?
I loved him. And like I said, I haven't been in meetings. I don't know mentally, his assignments and all that stuff. But when he played in the Ole Miss game the other day, I was like, man, this dude's got to be in somewhere, But there's got to be something that's keeping him out of the game right now, whether it's the mental part of it, not knowing his assignments all the time. But as far as the physical attributes and the way he plays the game, his hands, his technique, looks like he should be in that line somewhere.
Why you said when you watched him against Ole Miss, what was it that stood out in the Ole Miss game?
His hands. I watched him whenever they said he was, going to be starting a game. So my eyes went there for just about the whole game because they've been there the rest of the season watching Davis struggle a little bit, and his pass sets were really good. His hands, how he would react to that defensive end going from inside to outside or outside to inside. His feet were good. I just love what he brings to the table. And but there's got to be a reason, whether they think he's a little bit behind and it could be the checks at the line of scrimmage, where he might be a little slow thinking when we go from one play to the next. I don't know what it is, but he has the physical attributes, in my opinion.
He's Todd McClure. Hey, y'all, go subscribe on YouTube or follow the page on Facebook, The Snap Back with T-Mac. You want to hear Todd McClure talking some football? Heck yeah, man. Snap Back with T-Mac. I love it, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Of course, dude. We always appreciate your time. Thanks for squeezing us in today, man. We'll catch up soon, all right?
All right. Thank you, man.
All right, bud. We'll see you. That's Todd McClure. We always appreciate Todd's time. Todd, I know I've told the story before. Todd had the great misfortune of having me bother him in the press box for the years that he was doing the post-game show on Eagle 98.1 Game Day with Charles Handegriff, and we're sitting in the press box at LSU. Todd was right next to me. And when you have an opportunity to watch football with a guy who played, what did Todd play, 200 I don't want to get it wrong, but I think Todd played 250 NFL games, something along those lines. Like, he just knows and sees things that you and I would never look at. So it's like he played 198 games. I'm sorry. I gave him 50 more games. He played 198 games. So, like, he just knows so much and sees so much. And it's so invaluable to be able to sit there and just like pick someone's brain, like when they're watching a game to see what they're watching. But I probably know what the hell out of him. He's the nicest guy ever, so he would never tell me that. But we appreciate Todd. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Excuse me. I had to cough. Excuse me. So Ross Jackson will be with us. We'll come back. What Saints might be part of trade discussions as the trade deadline nears. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, deer season is here. Need to fill those plots. Get by Clegg's Nursery. Isn't that a garden center? Yes, it is. It's Clegg's Nursery. But they've also got rice bran and deer corn and Mobucks and Buckbusters. So get on by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They also are getting in daily all of their fall flowers. So, point being, if you want to decorate this fall, you got to get by Clegg's. Every time they get a new shipment in, they're great about posting it on their Facebook page, so highly recommend. If it's the fall decor, or if it's like those fall, the pumpkin, the pumpkins, hay bale, squash gourds, all the fall decor that we talk about all the time, or if you want any of the flowers. They got a new shipment of camellias. You could plant that fall vegetable garden as well. Get on by and see our friends today at Clegg's Nursery.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC, Pearl Jam, and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
You can always go get your tailgate stuff. By that, I mean your generators, your fans, the stuff you need to power your tailgate at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Great sponsors of our Tuesday shows all throughout the year. Adam Schefter has a list of some notable veteran players that could very well be part of trade conversations coming up by the November 4th trade deadline. He's got 5 New Orleans Saints listed. So I wanted to bring Ross Jackson on from Louisiana Sports.net to talk about this. Like, who's realistically potentially on the market? What might they command? What are the Saints thinking? Ross, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Yeah, man, of course. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. Let's start with the 2 veterans that I think everybody wants to talk about first. It's Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. Maybe the biggest thing with these 2 guys, Ross, is, like, do they even want to be traded, or are they just dead set on finishing their careers in New Orleans, even if it's, on losing teams?
Yeah, I think that's going to always be kind of the question when it comes to those guys and when it comes to these conversations. The fact of the matter is that neither of those guys want to go anywhere. Both of those guys very much want to finish their careers here in New Orleans. Alvin Kamara has been very kind of upfront about that over the course of the past few years. I mean, we've asked him over at Louisiana Sports.net. We've asked him before during training camp, things like that. You go back, Cam got his extension just a couple of years ago, and we asked Alvin Kamara about, hey, what are your thoughts on Cam Jordan's extension? He said, I don't want to talk about Cam. I want to talk about me. When am I getting mine? I want to finish my career here. And so that's very much been the MO around Alvin Kamara for some time. There was a recent report as well that came out about that sort of talked about how Mickey Loomis, the general manager, approached Alvin Kamara and said, hey, if there's an opportunity, would you like to go? And by all accounts, his answer was that he wants to be here in New Orleans. And we know that Cam Jordan, just like his father, wants to be a lifer. His dad, Steve Jordan, was a lifer with the Minnesota Vikings as a tight end. He wants the same thing in New Orleans. So when you have a couple of guys like that are effectively the faces of your franchise that don't want to go anywhere, very likely those guys aren't going to be on the move.
Does it, that notwithstanding, would it make sense for the Saints to try to move either of those guys?
It depends on the return that you get for them. The thing that's so tricky about that is, any team would have a question about how many years they're going to get from a Cam Jordan if they were to make a move. And therefore, the investment at that position, for that trade, even regardless to his position, which is a premier position as an edge rusher, you're probably not going to get enough of a return to make that worth it unless you're really starving for a day 3 pick or something like that. Alvin Kamara is a little bit trickier. You're talking about a running back, which is a position that doesn't carry a lot of trade value in the league. You're talking about a running back that's staring down the age of 30. That gets even less trade value in the league. So maybe if there's an unexpected offer that maybe makes sense for the Saints, it might send him to a competitor, like let's say the Kansas City Chiefs feel they're one explosive running back away, then maybe you revisit that conversation with him. But based on the fact that the Saints apparently went so far as to have the conversation with him before pulling the trigger, it feels very much like they are willing to take into consideration what these players want more than just what might net them, some draft value.
There's 3 other receivers that are listed: Brandon Cooks, and then 2 young guys with Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. Let's start with the veteran in Cooks. He's just back now for 6 games in his second stint with the Saints. Is there any market value for a guy like Cooks, especially considering the multi-year contract he just signed in New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if I can name a wide receiver that's had more trade value in the NFL than Brandon Cooks, right? This guy.
Noted.
The idea that the Saints sign him this offseason and they could potentially trade him is, if I can drop my journalist cap for a moment and just put on my normal human being cap, I would say that's absolutely insane. Like, that's crazy. That's wild. And so maybe so. I mean, there's clearly trade value around him, and there has been for the majority of his career. But he is somebody that obviously is coming off a big injury last year, too, so that's got to be factored in. But he has been healthy, although underutilized here in New Orleans so far. Or I shouldn't say underutilized, but hasn't had, the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 impact, which was never the expectation around him. So if a team's willing to give up something for him that's greater than the value that the Saints are getting right now, which would not be a huge ask, especially knowing that you've got young guys like Mason Tipton and Devon Vele already in the building, and the potential return eventually of other players that could potentially contribute there at the wide receiver position, he would be the one that would make the most sense to move, only if the return is better than you might expect for a receiver his age.
What do you think would be a return better than you might expect?
I think if you got anything over a 4th-round pick for him, that would probably at least start the conversation. Anything in day 2 or day 1 would probably be the conversation. I mean, that would be a pretty easy decision to make, especially when you have a similar style receiver like a Mason Tipton that's waiting there. But a 4th or a 5th-round pick is probably one of those pieces that's maybe a little bit better than you might expect. That would be enough to maybe get that conversation.
Which begs the question why they signed a small, aging, lacking production wide receiver. Never mind. Okay.
Well, especially to not utilize him, right? To not have him be a big part of the game plan, and then you also traded a 4th for Devon Vele, who has not been a part of the game plan. There's absolutely some questions there.
I'm just going to start in on Gumsmack and Mick again, and I don't want to put you in a bad spot. All right, so let's talk about the other guys that might be more realistic, and it's Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Young guys with a lot of career runway still in front of them, and guys that may command a greater asset. Let's start with Olave. If you would, Ross, start just working us through the mechanics of where he is in his contract and what would have to happen for a team to be interested in making a move for Olave.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things that makes Olave such a tradable asset is his contract. He is in the 4th year of his rookie deal. The 5th-year option has been picked up already, and I believe that hovers around $15, $16 million, depending upon what the contracts of wide receivers look like at the time that contract were to set in. But that should hover around that area. And so giving a team full control over contract negotiations, that's a favorable situation for a team that's trading to acquire a talented player like Chris Olave. So his contract, just to start there, is very, very tradable and would make him a desirable piece on the market.
What do you think? You used a 1st-round pick on Chris Olave. It's hard to imagine getting a 1st-round pick. What would be an asset that you think would be worth moving him?
Yeah, I think you move the conversation from 1st-round pick to 1st-round value. And so you're looking at a 2nd-round pick and a little bit of pocket change to kind of help get that pick value up. The typical wide receiver trade around the NFL, as we've seen, is a 2nd and a 5th-round pick. I think that would be enough for the Saints to decide, okay, look, what you're losing here, the value of what you're gaining in potential in terms of draft capital and investment is enough to maybe take that hit for this year and next year. So 2nd and 5th is the typical number 1 wide receiver or number 1 option in a passing game kind of trade that I feel like would at least get the conversation going. The conversation is never really going to be about should the Saints trade Chris Olave. It's more should the Saints receive what it is that they're going after, right? So it's got to be about what that compensation is. I think that would probably be pretty close to a workable amount.
So you're saying, but I don't want to misunderstand. You're saying that if the compensation were there, they should trade Chris Olave.
Yeah, I think as long as you're able to say that what you're getting to you as an organization, which varies over 32 teams, is greater than that which you are losing, then it makes sense to pull that trigger and then figure it out from there. It doesn't matter whether or not, Chris Olave should or shouldn't be traded. That's not really a part of the conversation, right? He's a talented player. He's on an agreeable contract. He would fill a void for a bunch of teams, and you have an opportunity to negotiate his future as an acquiring team to your liking and to your comfort. You're not inheriting somebody else's negotiated contract. All of those things make somebody a tradable asset. It's not really like, should they get rid of the player? It's never really getting rid of the player. It's gaining something in return. So it's really about the return more than it is about what you're losing.
And then Rashid Shaheed, what's the opportunity there?
Yeah, so that one's a really interesting one because I think part of the conversation that you have to have with this one is understanding what his market value is in free agency, because he's going into free agency after this year. And so with that, if he were to sign somewhere and get a big enough contract, you could be in store as the New Orleans Saints for a third-round pick in 2027 as a compensatory selection. So can you get a third-round pick in 2026? Is that enough to move the needle for you? If you can't get the value of what would be a third-round pick in 2027, then you're probably not moving that player, and you're willing to kind of go into the offseason with him, not re-signed, and looking to see what you might return that way, or trying to figure out if you can get a contract done with him, which we assume would be a cheaper contract to get a hold of rather than Chris Olave's contract, for instance.
Is there any other player that you think could enter these conversations?
Pete Werner, the linebacker, is definitely one. I mean, we're not talking about day one, day two compensation there or anything, but he's definitely one that you're watching out for. They, invested highly in Danny Stutzman. They've been getting a look at Stutzman as well as Isaiah Stalbert over the course of the past couple of weeks. And so he would be a player that would make some sense when it comes to those conversations. And then, if you're going to move a player and you want to try to get the biggest return that you can for them, getting a guy, moving somebody that's going to be moving a guy at a prime position or a premier position is a good way to get some of that, nice draft capital back. And so I would imagine that a guy like Carl Granderson could be a part of that conversation as well, because you would get good compensation for a talented player at a premier position.
He is Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net. Of course, you can read him there. If you want to listen or watch, it's the Locked On Saints podcast. So make sure you're subscribed over on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube to Locked On Saints. And, of course, you can read Ross always for free over at LouisianaSports.net. I understand you're going to have a piece on this tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big part of this conversation is understanding the difference between what a tradable asset is and a player that should be traded. None of this stuff is about a player that you're advocating to get moved or anything like that. It's all about the value. So we're going to list out each one of these players and then take a look at kind of top end and bottom end value that you could potentially get for them based on historical trades at the same position.
All right. Unless it's Chris Olave, I'm ready to see him gone. Just get rid of him. If you're not going to make a contested catch, get out of here. I don't want to see you anymore.
Well, you're dropping his trade value if you're moving him because you're mad at him.
Don't
care.
What I mean? Don't care. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. This is pissed off Sean Payton cutting a kicker the next day or throwing the challenge flag just because he's mad. That's how I feel right now. Like the worst. Did Sean Payton have the worst challenge success rate in the history of the NFL? Had to. He was just like a pissed off teenager.
I can find that.
Just throw the red flag because I'm pissed off.
He would throw it. It felt like he would throw it sometimes because he needed to throw something or because he just wanted to make the officials do something he wanted them to do.
That's exactly
so if I throw the challenge flag, you have to go and look at the thing. Great, I'll take that win.
He'll give up a timeout to do it. It's just like whenever he drafted, who is the kid from Tommy Stevens?
Tommy Stevens.
Wasted a draft pick for someone that wasn't going to make the team just because someone said he couldn't. It's like, oh, no, you're going to Carolina. No, you're not. I'm trading up and I'm drafting you. So you can't, even though I'm cutting you. That's how I feel right now about Olave. I don't care how nonsensical it is. I'm pissed off and I want him gone. So get rid of him. Make it happen, Ross. Make it happen. Okay, he's Ross Jackson on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. Give him a follow. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, bud. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Be well. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. Hey, go shop them online. Remember, you can always check out the in-house specials there at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen because, man, they do such an awesome job of making it fun when you walk in the door. It's not going to be pushy salespeople. It's the whole concept around buying a Volkswagen is it's fun. They've done an amazing job building that brand and that culture around the brand. And South Point Volkswagen's an extension of that. My goodness, you walk into the showroom, and to the left, they have an old Volkswagen Beetle, the bus, the van, converted into a photo booth. I mean, it's fun. And then, of course, the vehicles, the great German engineering, all the great safety picks, the great value as well. You're buying luxury without the cost. It's at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, after further review, glad to have you aboard with us. Jimmy will be here in about a dozen minutes from right now for Otterlock, so find out what we're betting on tonight. We'll knock out a quick break. If you want to jump aboard, you can email us, tweet us, or text us. Here's your opportunity to do it now. It's AFR.
AFR.
And a big hat tip to my friends Jareth Knockan and the gang over at Glow Resources because they built an incredible business that thrives on helping your business thrive. Think about what I'm saying there. I know that might sound like a little bit of a word salad. But at Glow Resources, their slogan is Complete Employer Solutions. For a while, it used to be Complete Employee Solutions, and they thought about it and said, no, we really need to flip that because, while yes, they're helping you find employees for your business, they don't work for the employee. They work for you, the employer. Like, if they're not a temp staffing agency. So if you're looking for a job, don't contact Glow. Glow Resources has a network, and they can cast their net far and wide, digging into their network to find the perfect person for the job you're trying to fill. Well, what job? Doesn't matter. In any industry. Skilled blue-collar labor or their professional placement division for any type of office job. From an executive assistant up to C-level management and everything in between. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online at glowresources.com. Complete Employer Solutions.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed
for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor sexy.
For the fans, start drinking earlier. Is that what you meant? Yeah, I figured this was Bloody Mary start at 6, get going. For us, we'll practice on Thursday and Friday because it's midwinter break. We have Thursday and Friday off, so we'll practice at 11 a.m. We'll get the guys up. We'll have pregame meal like it is Saturday, and we'll go through that routine on Thursday and Friday.
Love that. Brian Kelly getting his team ready for an 11 a.m. kick in Music City. So the Tigers will practice later this week at 11 a.m. You love to hear that. Start to get the body clock ready for an early kick and get geared up, ready to roll. For what it's worth, LSU all throughout fall camp practiced early. We were always out there for our availability at 9:30 in the morning, and they were generally on the field already. So while it's been a month and a half since fall camp, I don't know that that's completely forgotten. And by the way, you all remember being 18, 19, 20, 21. You could rally pretty easily. You could function on less sleep after nights out and things of that nature. To be 20 years old again. But in any event, by the way, so Thursday, your boy is wheels up to Nashville, and Friday we'll be doing AFR from the Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk. Can I get some Honky Tonk music? Or maybe Friends in Low Places or something like that? Really excited about our partnership with the LSU Alumni Association. They've been great partners of ours here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge for many years. And quite honestly, I've been traveling with the LSU Alumni Association, Traveling Tigers. The first trip I ever went on with them was the 2009 LSU-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa. That was the Patrick Peterson interception game. And they're amazing. It's a great way to travel. Always highly recommend it. And so Friday, it's this Friday on Broadway in Nashville. It's the Tiger Nation Takeover. Maybe we could fast forward a little bit to the fast part, Muse. Just skip it. Just go bloop. Just skip forward. Wait for it to hit. Just go with it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's what we wanted. Whiskey drowns in the beer. Shades my blue. Do I have to wear a hat? Do I have to wear a cowboy hat in Nashville?
No, but you should.
Do I have to wear boots?
No, but you should.
T-Bob bought a cowboy hat when SEC Media Days was in Nashville a few years ago.
There you go.
And he wore it every day.
Call him up, see if he can lend it to you.
And then I think he lost it, which is really on brand for T-Bob.
Yeah, that makes a lot of that.
I'm pretty sure he lost it.
I'd be disappointed if he still had it, actually.
Yeah. So AFR, 3 to 6, live music, drink specials, and more, says the flyer. 411 Broadway in Nashville, the Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk. This is Garth Brooks' bar. Basically, all the country people there loan their name to a bar, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it is. Like, when we were there in 2019, we were at the Redneck Riviera, who's the big and rich guy from Coming to Your City. What?
Oh, yeah, Big and Rich. It's their bar, yeah.
Well, no, it was one of them.
Oh, it was
Rich.
just one? Oh,
it was
okay.
Rich. John
okay.
Rich.
Okay, I thought it was both.
They don't
of
get
them.
snooty over there like you know so much.
Well,
You
why wouldn't they do it together? They do
I don't know.
everything
Why
together.
don't you ask them?
I don't know them. You were in their bar.
It's not really their bar. That's the point, Muse. They just lend their name to it. They're not there.
So Garth's not going to be there?
They're not slinging drinks.
Garth's not going to be there on Friday?
They're not mopping the floor.
Really cool.
They're not putting the little wristbands on people and stamping their hand when they come in because you're under 21 and you can't drink and you got the little glow-in-the-dark stamp. Muse.
Well, no,
They just put their name on
job.
it. They put their name on it because that's the appeal. They're not there.
Eric Church goes to his all the time.
Garth's not going to be there.
That'd be so cool if he was there.
But I'll be there. along with tons of Tiger fans. It's going to be a little Tiger Nation takeover in Nashville. Friday, AFR 3 to 6, and it's open to the public completely. Just come on. And then following AFRs, when they have the big party deep into the night, that's the place to be on Broadway in Nashville. Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk. Come hang out for AFR and then stay for the party after. And what else was I going to say? Oh, so we're planning this whole thing, right? And talking to the Friends in Low Places people, and they're like, do you need to be in a quiet spot for your show? So I'm like, I've literally done a show at the Fan Fest at SEC Media Days. And if you've never been, they literally have the two schools' marching bands come inside the Congress Center and play. I was on the other side of a curtain from a friggin' marching band. Whatever honky-tonk you got up there playing bad covers, I'm sure I can tolerate. Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. They also have live concerts now at FanFest, too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of noise.
Oh, it's loud.
Plus, there's a lot of kids running around screaming.
It's noise-canceling headphones and microphones.
Yeah,
the equipment is so good. It makes everything fade. If it's not right on the mic, it makes everything fade to the background like it's not even there. So, no, the ambiance is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. AFR Friday from the Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk on Broadway in Nashville. So if you're in Nashville or know someone who is, tell the Tiger fans, let's go take over. Y'all come hang out with us, man. Really, really, really looking forward to it. When we did this, thank you. You can kill. When we did this in 2019 at John Rich's bar, it was like 3 levels, and that place was packed. I mean, when I was starting the show, because I think we were on like the second or the third level, and so there was a stairwell that went down and outside on the Broadway. And I'm telling you, man, when I was starting the show, that line went down the stairs and out. It wasn't because everybody was there to see me, obviously. I just happened to be there. It was because it was where the LSU party is. But, I mean, it was a madhouse in there. So, really looking forward to getting back to Nashville this weekend, do AFR at the Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk with our friends from the LSU Alumni Association, the Traveling Tigers. And many, many, many thanks to Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. They're sponsoring our trip, so we wouldn't be able to do things like this without our great partners. So Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, and Veteran Security Services as well. So thanks to our sponsors that are making our trip to Nashville possible. We'll look forward to telling you much more about Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services while we are there in Nashville. But all the links are on our website, 1045ESPN.com, if you want to check that out. So we'll see you Friday in Nashville. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Come back. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks next. Don't you move.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. Renaissance, conveniently located on Bluebonnet near I-10, 13,000 square feet of meeting space. This past Thursday, I was actually at a fundraiser. Left the show, went to a fundraiser over at Renaissance Baton Rouge. And I'm telling you, if you need the big grand ballroom, which can fit 500 people, or you need a boardroom for 12 people. Like maybe you want to work, retreat, an off-site type deal where you have the restaurant, the bar, all the conveniences of the mall and Perkins Row right across the street. But they have boardrooms with board tables where they can bring in food and feed you in the boardroom. They have all the connectivity with the USB, USB-C, power, hookups, all the stuff all the technology you need. It's amazing. Anything you can imagine. They can even take their large ballrooms, shrink them down to smaller. If you need something, you can host a wedding reception, anything. Allison Crump, the events coordinator, always says, we are in the business of saying yes. So if you need an event, you need Renaissance Baton Rouge. Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter! What up?
What's happening, Matt? Boy, we're a fumble away from sweeping the board, huh?
Man, JD5 let us down, huh?
Yeah, he's been really good, but he messed up on that one. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he did.
Damn it, come on, man.
I know. All right, what are we looking at tonight?
All right, first of all, I want to say I would advise to tread lightly as if you're betting on a Tuesday night, okay? So, I mean, it's a tough one.
right.
I'm really stuck on this Dodgers-Milwaukee. I just got a little bit of a gut that Peralta, who's been very good for the Brewers for most of the season, will get it done at home here. Get it to the fifth or sixth. Get into that Dodger bullpen. Although I would think they'll use Tyler Glass now tonight. And this is also a little bit of an insurance policy for those that bet. The pick that we put out on the Dodgers at plus 550 or 600 to win it all before the playoffs started. And I'm going to go with the at even money, the Brewers in the baseball game
Okay,
tonight.
so they got this wrong on the website there because it has the Dodgers plus 100, so plus $1. So that it's not the pick is not on the Dodgers.
No, the pick is Milwaukee. The pick
Okay,
is Milwaukee.
All right, well they got it
yeah.
wrong. All right, I'm going to correct this on the website then.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I just want to make sure. I think they got the odds correct because they have it at.
Well, the Dodgers would be minus like 120.
Yeah,
120,
that's what I was asking.
like
The Dodgers
that. Yeah.
are minus $1.21 right now. All right, so the pick is Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
All right, I'm
Not even
changing it on
money.
the website. Okay.
Is it plus 101?
Yes. Plus it's no, Milwaukee is minus $1.01.
Okay, $1. All right, but yeah, not the same depth. Yeah, but it's moved very little since earlier today. So we're going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers to tie it up in that one.
Okay.
That's crazy that they almost had a chance to win down multiple runs. A crazy double play off the wall in center field, and lifting a pitcher who's from 112 3 weeks ago and 122 for his career after only 103. Anyway, I digress. We got a triple header of low-level college football tonight. Let's get on it. The Liberty Flames. Liberty's been pretty good. You know, Hugh Freeze got over there. Them and Coastal were so good that year. They're averaging 17 points a game this year. This is not our older brother's Liberty. I mean, 17 points a game, and you're going to lay double digits. We're going to go with New Mexico State against the Flames in that one.
All right, New Mexico State's 10.5 right now.
And Western Kentucky the same, not quite as good. Now, look, they took advantage of some porous pass defense last week, but Florida International actually gave up a bunch of long plays. I think 3 plus 50-yard passes. Look for them to tighten up tonight. We're going to go with the points in Florida International against Western Kentucky in the late one. No pick on that middle game.
All right, Brewers on the money line, and then New Mexico State and Florida International taking the points. Where are you tomorrow?
We are at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Brewley.
Okay.
So right off the main track, yes. So it's our Las Palmas family of restaurants. We'll be at Rio Cantina tomorrow.
Very good. All right, Otter, good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, man. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. You need tires? Buy the best tires at the cheapest price at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. You can shop them at ShawBillsTire.com. You can schedule service at ShawBillsTire.com. It's all right there for you. And, of course, they treat you like family. Look, part of the Charlie's dozen. Price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shaw Bills. Find them advertised somewhere else cheaper. They'll refund you 125% of the difference because they're the best. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, thanks to Shea Dixon. Thanks to Brandon Taylor. Thanks to Todd McClure. Thanks to Ross Jackson. Thanks to Muse and Paulie. Y'all have an awesome night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
Hey now, Supper Club is open. Closed Sunday, Monday, but back open on Tuesday. If you were looking for dinner plans tonight, don't you dare go home. Why in the world would you go home to heat up leftovers or to eat some frozen dinner or something like that? No. Go to Supper Club. Scone, I don't have a jacket. Doesn't matter. As long as you got a collared shirt, you're good. You meet the stated dress code. And I'm telling you, it is worth the trip every time you go into Supper Club. Cannot recommend it highly enough. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. Supper Club, everything you eat there is just outstanding. Told you about all the different appetizers in the past. The seafood tower is incredible. The colossal prawn is amazing. The bluefin tuna poke. Oh, they got the best steaks, but they got the best everything at Supper Club.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.